Hello friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Wolo. I want to say thank you to everyone that has subscribed to my channel. My channel is about sharing information on life in Canada, immigrating to Canada, and generally anything useful that's going to be beneficial to anybody who plans to come to Canada. Today I'll be talking about how to get a job as a new immigrant. Getting a job as a new immigrant is one of the challenges a lot of new immigrants face when they come to Canada. But that challenge can also be something that they will not experience only if they put certain strategies in place. I'll give myself as an example. Before I arrived Canada, I was fortunate to stumble into an organization called Settlement Online Pre-Arrival Program. And with that organization, I was able to learn a lot of things like Canadian workplace culture, soft skills, and job search strategies. The job search strategies was very important for me because, of course, any immigrant coming to Canada, the first thing that comes to the person's mind is how to get a job so that the person can start paying his bills. And from the job search strategies, I was able to learn how to redraft my resume to the Canadian standard, and from the counselor I learned from her that I could start applying from back home from Nigeria, and I started applying like 2 months before arrival. I sent in a lot of resumes. I didn't get any response. I even sent an email back to the counselor, and she said I shouldn't give up, I should just keep sending my resumes, and I did. I kept sending my resume and I got only one response, and the response was, "Are you in Winnipeg?" And I said no, and she said, once you land in Winnipeg, let me know. And that was it. The moment I landed in Winnipeg, I sent an email, "I'm now in Winnipeg," and she called me, looked at my resume, scheduled an interview for me, and within 3 weeks I got a job. I got a job in Winnipeg. So now that was my strategy. So, and I will encourage everybody to use the same strategy. If you want to learn how to draft your resume the Canadian standard, and if you have, maybe if you've gotten to the level where you've gotten your medicals, I think that's only when you can join or sign up with this organization and learn from them, because they don't just take random people. And you can also go online and search. Just Google online Canadian resume, and then you see examples of Canadian resume. So that's how I got my job. Now, the advice I usually give to people is, before you leave your home country, try as much as possible to start networking. And the networking starts from LinkedIn. Unfortunately, my LinkedIn is blank. So if you go to my LinkedIn, you will not even see anything, because I like to keep my, how would I put it? I just decided to remove all the places I've worked in LinkedIn and leave it blank, and it's for a reason. I'll explain that reason later. So that's by the way. So the first place to start is LinkedIn. With LinkedIn, you can, if you've decided you want to land in Toronto, you want to land in Alberta, or you want to land in Manitoba or Vancouver, wherever you are, just go to LinkedIn and start searching for people in your career path on LinkedIn and connecting with them. You can just put a small message while connecting with them and connect with them. Another thing is connect with recruiters. That's the major key. So a lot of people just come to Canada and like, okay, start putting out resumes, and they forget that Canadians themselves are looking for Canadian work experience. They don't recognize wherever you've worked in, wherever you are coming from. They don't recognize it. They recognize if you've worked in Canada and if you have a work experience. That's what they look out for. So how do you now get this work experience? The best way is getting connected to recruiters, and you can get connected to recruiters from LinkedIn. Either you get connected to recruiters from LinkedIn, or you can just I'll be leaving a list of recruiters on the description box of this video so that you can click on them and then start connecting with them. So you either connect with recruiters on LinkedIn, or you walk into a recruitment organization, and there are lots of them. Like in Manitoba, in Winnipeg, there are lots of recruiting organizations in downtown Winnipeg. And the lady that responded to my email when I was in Nigeria, she was a recruiter, and she was working in one of the recruitment agencies. So getting her to like respond to my email was one step ahead, because it was one step ahead because I was able to connect with her by that response, and she told me that once I land I should be able to send her an email. So it's easier if you connect with recruiters through LinkedIn, or once you land you go to any of the recruitment organizations and discuss with them, and they will just give you one or two minor tests to do. Some of them they just give you to check your Microsoft computer skills. They will just want to test your computer skills. If you say you're an accountant, they want to test your accounting skills, because there are some occupations that accountants, even if you don't have your CPA, you can actually do some occupations in accounting even if you don't have your CPA. So they want to test your skills, your bookkeeping skills and stuff like that. So that's one major thing a lot of people do not know. A lot of people just come and start applying and forgetting that it doesn't work like that. But if you go through a recruiter or a recruiting organization, you are likely to land a job faster and sooner than you just throwing your resumes randomly to different companies without getting a response. And another thing is, most of these recruiting organizations, they have connections or they have networks, they have links with all of the organizations in Canada. I will give an example. So like when I got my job, at the same time I didn't relax. I was still sending out my resumes to different organizations, and another recruiting organization saw my resume and called me and asked me if I was interested in another job, and I said I wasn't interested because the offer was not as high as where my first job, it wasn't as high as that, so I rejected the offer. And after that, they just kept calling me for different offers. So that's the beauty of using a recruiting organization. A recruiting organization, they'll just keep calling you. Are you available? There's another opportunity. Do you want to take it? Are you available? There's another opportunity. Do you want to take it? And it's left for you to start saying no. And within 2 months in Canada, I was just rejecting jobs. Like, I wasn't interested. No, I'm not interested in this. No, I'm not interested in this. No, I'm not interested in this. That's the beauty of using a recruiting agency. I'll also give another example. I had a former colleague who landed last year. Yeah, she landed last year. And I was telling her, babe, just go to this recruiting organization. Go and meet them. She was just dragging her feet. She had stayed the first month, second month. The third month, she just, okay, let her just listen to me. And after sending resumes around, going for interview, nobody was even listening to her. She just walked into the organization I told her to go to. And lo and behold, they were looking for a recruitment consultant, and she is an HR person from Nigeria, and that was how she landed the job of a recruitment consultant. So please, this information is for anybody who is already in the process of coming to Canada. The best way to get a job, the best and fastest way to get a job is through a recruitment organization. The first thing you can do, like I said, I'm summarizing it again, is go online, update your LinkedIn profile. Update your LinkedIn profile and start connecting with recruiters. Start connecting with human resources managers on LinkedIn, recruiters on LinkedIn. There are open recruiters. Just start connecting with all of them. You can even connect with directors, CEOs on LinkedIn, and when you connect with them, you can be able to communicate with them. Like I said, this strategy might work for a lot of group of people, and it might not work for some people. It might not work for some people in the sense that if your LinkedIn page is not up to standard, they'll just look at if you want to connect with them, they might just ignore your message. So try as much as possible to revamp your LinkedIn page. Make sure that it is up to standard, up to the Canadian standard. Put in your achievements, put in your accomplishments that you've had. Revamp your resume. Make sure your resume is up to the Canadian standard, and try as much as possible to start connecting with them. I can also give an example of somebody that got a job from Nigeria before he even went for his biometrics, and it was my friend, my former colleague, that was telling me this, that a lot of people who work in multinationals, especially global multinational organizations, it's a little bit easier to connect with the branch in Canada. So let's say you are working in let me give an example now. Let's say you are working in Deloitte in Nigeria and you are planning to immigrate to Canada. It's better for you to start connecting with the recruiters in Deloitte in Canada. It's better for you to start connecting with the managers in Deloitte in Canada. And before you know it, instead of you just coming to Canada to start all over again, you can actually come and start with Deloitte Canada. So that's the information I want to share, and I hope it's a useful one, and I hope that a lot of people will benefit from this video. And please spread the information, share it, and stay blessed and have a beautiful day. Bye bye.